Hi, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Just me, just Tony. I'm Tony, and I am going to just hop right on into it. In my previous video, we talked about me and my experiences, dating in my 30s versus my 20s. And this episode or this series, well, yeah, episode, I want to talk about money. He got money, maybe not. So I have dated the spectrum, from I guess you can say um, being the sole breadwinner, not sole, but being the breadwinner versus dating someone that, my salary times two. Okay. How do I know this? First and foremost, um, when you're paying attention, when you are dating with intention, because I want to be married. Those things, you are you're not asking questions. You're not asking how much do you make. You're not asking what's your credit score. Those things you find out in conversation about lifestyle, in conversation about past experiences. You've been to college, you have loans, those type of conversations, those type of things come up in conversations. And a lot of things that I've learned is you don't have to ask, just watch. Men will tell you who they are with their actions. um, Men will tell you what they have with their actions, what they put their money into. Are they putting their money into travel? Are they putting their money into their hobbies? How expensive are their hobbies? Where do they eat? What type of car do they drive? What kind of home do they have? And, what type of hobbies, again, what kind of hobbies do they have? It'll tell you, it can tell you a lot about a person. A lot of men don't put their money in their cars. A lot of men don't put their money in their homes. A lot of men put their money in their hobbies and the things that they enjoy doing in their lives. Pay attention to that, ladies, because it's not always going to be spelled out to you. And not only that, it's not, for me more specifically, not a measure as to what I am looking for in a man. I'm not looking to know how much money a man has. For me, it is, are you being a good steward of your money? Are you tithing? And if you're tithing, are you giving to a church or are you giving to a community? What does that look like? So I've learned to really pay attention to those things. There has been this conversation that I've stopped having with my best friends about men putting their value in their money. And though it is, for a lot of us, if you are anything like me and have been self-sufficient, I'm not an independent Black woman that don't need a man. I'm not singing that anthem. I've never sung that anthem. That is not the committee. That is not the club that I have joined. No, 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 no. I'm just a grown woman that has bills and I need to pay them. I need a man, and I'm not afraid to say that. However, there is a limit. There is a way that I will accept a gift of money from a man when I know without a shadow of a doubt that there isn't an expectation of me to do anything. Reciprocity in that regard comes with loyalty for me. It comes with loyalty, and it comes with a level of commitment. It comes with honesty. It comes with transparency, but it doesn't come with physical. That isn't, I'm not for sale in that regard. I'm not for sale. And my experience, I'll share a story with you. When I first moved to Maryland, there was a friend that I had that I gained, and it was random, but it was a really nice guy, and we would hang out. We would just really hang out. And it was one day I just slip of the tongue, and something came up financially, and it just kind of had me in a chokehold. And it was a slip of the tongue, and I mentioned it, and he's like, "You need help?" I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good." background, I've always been self-sufficient. I've been stable for myself for years. So to come up in a situation where I needed help, I'm like, oh no, 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 this isn't good. I can't, right? And you're also talking to a woman that has had a friend since, I don't know how many years has it been, almost 15, no, past 15 years. First time I've ever asked her for money was in 2023. We've known each other for dang near 20 years. So that should tell you where I am with money. But he offered and I just turned him down. And he's like, "What? No, I'm going to give this to you because no friend of mine is going to struggle and I know it." And he had the means. I was like, "No." And I look at my phone, I get a notification and he had sent me the money anyway. To me, I could have cried. I could have cried in that moment because that was a testament to the way how he valued me, his definition of friendship. That for me was powerful. That was a eye opener for me to say, okay, this man is the type of person that is going to invest in what he deems valuable and without reciprocity in any physical regard. This is strictly like, we're friends. I got it. You need it. It's yours. You ain't got to pay me back. This is yours. And so it just spoke volumes to me. Now, as it relates to romantic relationships for me, I'm always hesitant. I understand that in a relationship, especially just dating, money to me isn't something that is I expect to be given, because that for me is a relationship thing. To give money, to give money is a big deal. And if anyone were to want to do that, it would have to come from just sheer, here you are because I care. I expect, however, in a relationship for that to be like, I'm not about to let my woman suffer and struggle and be in survival mode. If I have it, there is no question. And I know that she can handle it. And I know that if, she's going to work hard enough to get this done. And I know that, but I have it right now. That for me is an expectation. And a woman in her 30s wanting to be married is looking for a man that is going to help make my life easier. Not looking for a handout, not looking for someone to take care of me, but help make my life easier. We don't live a life, I don't believe that we are meant to live life alone. And in that regard, living life with someone means that they take off burdens and take loads off of you that will allow you to live your life freely and openly and comfortably. I believe that is the case. And likewise, whatever I can do for my man to make his life easier is exactly what I'm going to do. Once that level of commitment has been established, that's where it is. And so dating a man with that mentality is important for me. Dating a man that does not withhold and is generous, not only with his money, but with his time, with his resources, with his knowledge. Dating a man with that won't ridicule you or make you feel bad about something that you may not know and may not be privy to, is a man worth submitting your emotions to. And that's what I'm looking for. That is what I have decided, and that is how I am vetting. That is how I am looking for relationships now. I wasn't doing that in my 20s. I didn't know to do that in my 20s. Now, that's a bigger deal. How are you going to contribute to my life in a way that says, I got you? It's a big deal. having money conversations don't have to necessarily be heavy, but understanding the value that comes with it, understanding how they think about money is a more important than the how much, more important than the, you know, when are you going to use that for me? It's what, how do they deem money? What is the value around that? And again, I had to stop having the conversation of I don't need men to value money. I've accepted it, respect it, and place it in the space that it needs. Okay, well, these are my parameters. This is how I look at money. This is what I expect out of money, and go from there. And it goes back to my previous video when I don't want to be redundant, but when a man puts in effort, when he puts in something, that shows you what he values. I'll say it and I'll say it again. A man that values you beholds you. He will put in that work. He will put in that effort. And most likely, if he is a generous person, he will put in that money. And I'm not saying that's what you need to be looking for. As a woman in, again, I'm going to say it again, as a woman in her 30s, I'm not looking for a man to put in money. But if that's something that you're introducing, the expectation is that it's out of just sheer generosity, not because of an expectation to receive, you know, physical intimacy. So I just wanted to share that piece because I believe that it needed its own space. And women, a lot of times, and I've heard this multiple times, that there are women that literally only date men because of their money, and that makes it very difficult for women like me to just really I want to know who you are. I want to know who you are as a man, and then we can get to the part of, you know, your money. We can get there later. But if your integrity, and if your character, if you're not compassionate, if you're not kind, and if you aren't patient, and if you aren't honest, I can't feel safe with you. I can't feel safe. And I won't ask you for money. I won't ever. I won't ever let it get to the opportunity where I'm going to financially need you. I'll ask everybody else but you. And most likely you won't be around. And I won't let you in that far enough for you to even know that I'm struggling, or that I have that problem, or if I have a need. And I also understand that there is a dynamic where both women and men need to feel needed in a relationship. But before we can even get to the fulfillment of those type of needs, the foundation of who you are as a person needs to be solid and very, very clear. And if I can't see that with your actions, then we won't even get to the point of me asking and talking about money. So I hope that helps, you know, those that are, like I said, dating new and dating a woman in her 30s, because we're a different breed, okay? We are a different breed. So get it together, fellas. Get it together. And if you are dating someone in their 30s, or if you're dating in your 30s and money is a thing for you, and whether you are making more, because like I said, I've experienced that. I know what that feels like. If you're making more than the person that you are in a relationship with, or you are, you know, now in the space where you're just accepting that the men that you are associating yourself with now, they are, their salaries are a lot, they're just making more money than you are, and it may be new to you. How are you navigating that? How are you navigating money in your dating scenarios? I want to hear that. You know, put some comments below, and share with me your experience, and so we can talk to each other. I hope this video helped you, and I hope that you got some great things out of it. I am going to conclude and end this series. I just wanted to keep it to 2 parts. I think that's enough. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.